Everybody. Welcome to the Neo Kuroko Show. Today, I'm going to show you how I made this picture, which should be the background of my YouTube channel. Haven't uploaded it yet, but hypothetically, this will be it. And it won't be the best tutorial. I'm not probably qualified to give tutorials, but I figure that might help some people see someone who fumbles around like me and struggles trying to do this, instead of someone who just has already done it a million times and nails it. I Google and DuckDuckGo my way through it, but it took me like 6 hours. I was hoping it would take me 15 minutes, but I cut my screen captures into 4 things, and I'm just going to play and talk to them as best as I can. Maybe a detail will poke out to you and point you in the right direction. I Googled some YouTube copyright music. They have a audio library channel where music, they won't come after you for copyrights. Just have that going in the background. Some nice upbeat stuff. I guess this is the playlist. And let's get into it. There's part 1. Open up! Everyone's waiting! Clock's ticking! Come on. There we go. Move this so it's not as inception-y. Alright. I'm doing this stuff in Krita. If y'all don't know, Krita's open source free Photoshop alternative, and you can't beat free. Once you install it, there might be some buggy things or little differences, but like you can Google and DuckDuckGo your way out of it. I opened it up, opened a new file. It's my second time using it. My first time I got it, I opened it, I did a little test Krita thing, which you can see when I open, there it is. I guess it remembers those things. It's important to export, not export, but save as, and then change it to like a JPEG or something, and not export it unless it's an actual movie, because I exported mine and it acted all wonky. I Googled the dimensions for the art that I needed. I just typed in YouTube picture dimensions, and there they are. YouTube pictures, size 800 for the icon, for your background, for the channel art, it's right there, and for your thumbnail photos, there it is. So I'm doing the channel art, so I'm doing 256 by 144. And I was trying to think of what I wanted to do. My inspiration, I remembered when I was young, the corner boxes and comic books. There's a Spider-Man drawing. That's a painterly version of it. I was looking for a better quality picture like that. I have a larger tablet that's 22 inches, so instead of dragging them into dragging them into the actual like file or Krita thing, I just put them on the side so I can just have it near my artwork and use it. This is when I actually open it up, type in the dimensions and pixels, and start getting to work. There's my canvas. There's the pictures I'm using as reference. I was thinking I was going to do the background. Right off the bat, I couldn't figure out opacity because I wanted to change that. It's silly because the opacity is right there, but I just couldn't see it. I was looking at this one. I was used to like a little bar or something. I don't know why, I just had trouble reading that. And I was thinking I was going to make colors and put some black over top and have the colors poke through the back, and it would look cool. But once I did it, it looked ugly. It looked like a kindergarten thumb painting, so I threw in the towel. And that was the end of the first part. I took a break, got a drink, and then started again. Decided to Google colors, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm just going to use the colors and then put the black over the background of whatever colors that popped to me. Initially, I thought I was going to go more with rainbow colors, but then that one and that one vibed me more. I don't know why. You go with your gut. Threw it in there, Command T to resize the stuff. Use them as backgrounds. Command T is is this tool. It'll size it. If you hit shift and grab the corners for you newbies, it'll keep the dimensions so they don't distort in case you're worried about warping it. Then start drawing. This is my favorite part, the sketchy part. Just go loose and fluid. You know, no one has to see this. If you're practicing trying to get good at drawing, just keep doing this, just until you start getting a feel for volumes and dimensions. Draw from life, and then have references. When you draw from life, it makes drawing from reference easy. It can be a little odd at first and disorienting and not what you like. You're used to, especially if you started like I did when I was young, going straight away, making your final lines, not lifting your hand. Just start sketching and scratching stuff out. Make scribble monsters till they start getting to look the way you want them. I use this as my background, you know, turn the opacity down and do my next layer where I'm going to kind of draw onto it from my memory, like a version of me with my hoodie, my shorts on that I plan on wearing for this channel all the time. And I should have used reference for this because you'll see later that I actually end up changing, you know, noticing that the stitches and work on this hoodie the details are a little off. There's me speed drawing. That's the end of that. Go over to part 3 here. Okay, I opened it back up, and that's when I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that this is just me gonna paint. I was trying to adjust that because I felt like the hand was a little too low. I was trying to use the cutter tool. It wasn't working the way I was expecting it to. So I ended up throwing the towel on that and just erasing and redrawing. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be scared to erase and redraw. And I was going to clean that up a little more. This is rough too. Don't be afraid to do as many roughs as you need to get the desired like. I mean, you got to find balance between that finished, not perfect type philosophy and perfection. So it's up to you. If you're doing personal work, I guess you can take as long as you want. I mean, it's just for you. If you end up working for people and you got deadlines, I just get stuff done. Get stuff done. You always want to try to do your best, though. Don't worry about style. Style, if you do your best, other people say, oh, I can notice that's yours, and then it'll have a style to it. You'll end up having a style. Don't consciously worry about style. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. Always try to do your best. I was putting in flats, my first time using the paint bucket tool, and paint bucket tools never work good for me, and this is no different, obviously. This software, Krita, for whatever reason, seems to always try to remember whatever layers are on, and it affects the bucket tool, and depending on the tool you're using, will affect how it fills. Like I noticed if you use, depending on like how much grain and texture each brush has, the paint bucket tool won't recognize it as well. Like when you use the pen tool or the brush tool, it fills a little better, but a lot of times you'll end up hand painting to get a nice, clear, flat look. Or you can just work around it. That little line that you get when it paints, if you like that look, just use it, roll with it, and it can help you get stuff done faster. But I guess it's all relative, whatever vibe you're feeling. This is when I add those details, repainting again. You see that little line, I kind of wanted it flat in some areas, that little outline, and in certain areas I was like, you know what, I'm going to roll with it. I was cool with it being around there. And it's a transparent line, it's not white. It seems white because it puts white as transparency by default. So whatever your background is going to be will bleed through those edges, which I didn't mind too much. I don't mind it being stylized like that. This is when I started doing the details of the lines that are on the hoodie, and I'm using the same technique for shading where I just use all white and then play with the opacity, and I'll end up using all black for the shadows and playing with the opacity, so whatever color is over top of, it'll just give it the correct darkness to read as a shadow. A lot of people do that as a go-to instead of picking the shadow colors, but if you want something to look different or look psychedelic, then you hand pick your shadow colors. But I was just going for shell shaded look because that's what I'm used to. And for pipeline stuff, if you want a flat look and not have those edges, and for details like this to go easier, not go over your lines, you would want to make a separate paint layer, put it behind your clean line art, paint it, and then put this layer, your little details of lights, on top of that layer that's behind the lines, so you don't have to worry about these lines going over the black lines and having to erase them and looking wonky. So always keeping in mind the order of your layers for your workflow can help out a lot. With shadows, I just block it out. Luckily, once you hit the opacity and everything, as long as it's solid color for cell shading, light does all kinds of odd things, so most people, unless you really mess it up, you can kind of have fun with it. There's not an exact, precise science to it. If you have reference, stick to the reference. But when you got to pull it out of your head, just keep in mind where the light's probably coming from. In this instance, the light, I'm trying to match the light from my first video, which was behind. So just kind of think of anything that would touch it. And light has ambient, bounces off stuff, so it might touch something here and there, so you can highlight things that you want to highlight. Then I started to go with the black strokes that I wanted. This is a great way to feel out your tablet. Like, I just got this thing, and it's a way to feel the brushes and the software you're using. And I just was going buck wild at first and said, okay, it's orange and red, so I guess I'll have kind of a flame type vibe, and I might end up changing that. I might go in and use the symmetry tool and make it look a little more clean, because it does look a little sloppy in some areas for my tastes. But basically just chewed through it, and then towards the end of this, I noticed it didn't pop that good. Like, I started losing the edges. I wanted the hard black when I messed with the opacity of it. And I was like, oh, to keep the silhouette, I'm going to go ahead. I tried to add a stroke, but I didn't know exactly where that was in this program. It wasn't as easy for me to find. So I just hand painted it, put the opacity down a touch. For the most part, flats, opacity is pretty much the thing I'm playing with here. Brushes and opacities and an eraser. And I was trying to put in a burgundy, that colorish, over the top to give it a buzz. But as you can see, at first it didn't work. Like, it remembers all these things for whatever reason. And it only tried filling on top. Like, if you can see that. So in order to fix that, I ended up turning off all the layers so I could have a layer on, that was all by itself and just fill it, so it could go over the complete surface and give it more of an atmosphere of the color I like. You see I did it right there. Just giving you a heads up in case you're trying to use the software and you're running across the same problem. Turn off all the layers, then have a new one and fill it. That worked for me. You might have different bugs on your machine. And that's basically it. I called it done. I hit the Save As button, labeled it, put it where I want it. Like I said, do Save As, don't do Export. I exported it as a PNG, and for whatever reason that messed it up when I tried opening it. And it made it buggy the last couple times. I had to turn the computer off, turn it back on. When you Save As and just call it a JPEG, or you can do a PNG, depending. PNG is better quality. JPEG is just easy to recognize. It's just going to be a background picture. And I believe that's it. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy. Wish you the best.